So what if the secret to boosting your child's immunity, maybe reducing their allergies, wasn't some new supplement or, a special diet? What if it was actually something furry, four-legged, and, well, already living with you? Today, we're doing a deep dive into some really compelling science, suggesting pets at home, especially early on, can make a big difference to a kid's immune system.
It really is fascinating stuff. We're going to unpack how these findings sort of challenge what many of us thought. We'll explore the biology, the specific ways pets interact with us, and importantly, cover the caveats too.
Okay, so we've put this idea out there. Let's get into the how. How do pets actually do this? Because I think for a lot of parents, the idea of more germs in the house sounds, well, maybe a bit counterintuitive, maybe even risky. What's the basic idea that makes this exposure actually helpful?
That's a really good question. It gets us to something researchers sometimes call the mini farm effect. Studies showed kids on farms with all that exposure to animals and soil microbes, they tend to have much lower rates of allergies, asthma.
Right, the hygiene hypothesis idea.
Exactly, related to that. So pets, especially dogs and cats, they bring a kind of smaller version of that diverse microbial world right into our homes. They're like little microbe delivery systems. And when kids get exposed early, it basically trains their immune systems, teaches them what's what. Think of it like maybe an immune system boot camp.
A boot camp, I like that. It makes sense for, external stuff. But the research suggests it goes deeper, doesn't it? It's not just skin deep. It actually affects something inside us.
Precisely.
Yeah.
This is where the gut microbiome comes in, that amazing ecosystem of bacteria in our digestive tracts. Studies are showing kids with pets actually develop a more diverse gut microbiome.
More varied bacteria.
Yes, a wider variety. And more variety generally means a more robust, more adaptable system internally. It helps educate the immune system to react appropriately. So not overreacting to harmless things like pollen, but also not underreacting to actual threats.
Okay, so specific changes then. Are there particular bacteria that stand out in these studies?
There are actually, yeah. Beneficial bacteria like Ruminococcus and Oscillospira. They're found in higher amounts in babies exposed to pets. And these specific ones are linked to a lower risk of allergies, even obesity. And get this, the transfer of microbes can even happen from the pet to the mother and then to the baby during pregnancy.
Wow. That connection, specific bacteria, lower allergy risk, sounds pretty strong. But is it just, correlation? Or is there good evidence pointing to a direct cause? And what does it mean day to day for families?
Well, the evidence is mounting towards a causal link, not just seeing two things happen together. Look at the Finnish research. They found babies with early pet contact were about 30% less likely to get common respiratory infections.
30%, like colds and ear infections.
Exactly, colds, ear infections. And research from the University of Warwick who found kids in pet-owning families seemed to have more stable immune systems overall. They were sick less often, which meant better school attendance. Does make you think, doesn't it? How about our super clean environments today?
Yeah, it really does. And it's not just one study saying this, right? I saw others. University of Alberta, more immune-boosting gut bacteria, lower allergy and obesity risk again. A BBC feature mentioned allergy risk dropping with more pets, suggesting it's about that exposure level. And that childhood origins of asthma study, early dog exposure, linked to less allergic sensitization, less eczema at age 1, even less wheezing.
Right. But it is crucial we add some balance here. The caveats are important. While the evidence is compelling, getting a pet isn't some kind of guarantee.
Right, not a magic shield.
Exactly. Doesn't mean your child will never get sick or never develop allergies. Genetics are huge, other environmental things, lifestyle.
Yeah.
It all plays a part.
And you mentioned dogs and cats earlier. Does the type of pet matter? It seems most benefits are linked to dogs.
That's a really sharp observation. Yes, most studies highlight dogs. The effect seems less clear with cats or, say, hamsters.
Why is that, do you think?
Yeah. Well, the thinking is dogs just tend to be outdoors more, right? Rolling in stuff, tracking in a wider variety of microbes from different environments. Compared to maybe an indoor-only cat, that broader microbial diversity they bring in seems to be a key factor.
Okay.
But of course, with any exposure, safety first. we have to mention potential risks. Pets can carry parasites. Dog roundworm is an example,
Hmm.
or other diseases. So good hygiene, washing hands, regular vet checkups for the pet, that's all non-negotiable.
Absolutely.
And, balance is key. For kids who already have compromised immune systems or really severe allergies, parents should definitely talk to a doctor before bringing a pet home.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the bottom line seems pretty clear. Pets, dogs in particular, really can help strengthen a child's immune system. It's that microbial exposure helping prevent allergies, maybe asthma, even infections. They're not a magic bullet, like you said, but they seem to be a beneficial part of a generally healthy, active lifestyle.
Absolutely. So maybe the next time you see your child playing with the dog or cat, think about that invisible world they're sharing, all those beneficial microbes. And it raises a bigger question, doesn't it, in this modern push for sterility? Are we accidentally getting rid of some things that actually make us stronger, more resilient? Something to think about.